All right, Latin 2. We are down to just the pluperfect subjunctive, which you already know. So now you've got videos for each of them, including one small separate one for deponents, and then I've included it with all the rest. Okay, so the standard everything still applies. Okay, you've already learned the pluperfect subjunctive, but I'm gonna tell it to you again anyway, just so you have a video for each, because then we're gonna get into the grammar of it soon. So what you have here is the pluperfect subjunctive. In the active, you're going to take your perfect infinitive, your perfect active infinitive, and you're going to add on your standard endings, MST, musti, senti. Okay. In the passive, you're going to take your perfect passive participle, and you're going to add on the imperfect subjunctive, okay, of sum esse. So SM, SS, esset, essemus, right, and on. So that's essentially the same formula as what you did when you did the pluperfect active and passive in the indicative. If you recall, you had your pluperfect, you used your perfect stem, and then you added on ra, mara, sarat, right? And then if you did the pluperfect passive, it was the fourth principal part, the perfect passive participle, and then the imperfect of esse, era, mara, sarat. Okay, so the patterns have stayed the same. The reason we've always done the two columns and the 3 rows has always been so that you could just bleed it over and stuff like that. So here is what it looks like, active and passive. Okay, in the active, porta vise, and then you add on mst musti senti, right? Porta visem, porta vises, porta viset, right? Movisem, movises, moviset. Misisem, misises, misiset, yekise, yekises, yekisent, audiwise, audiwisem, audiwises, audiwiset. It's just that over and over again. It's really, really easy to make. It's as easy to make as the imperfect, okay? I would actually even say a little bit easier because you're just using, the spelling is a lot easier to mess with. Now, in the passives, as you can see there, you're taking the fourth principal part, portatus sm, portatus ss, portatus esset, and keep in mind they are 2 separate words, right? And then in the plural, it would be portati essemus, portati essetis, portati essent. So you still want to change that participle ending with the singular or the plural, right? So motus sm, motus esset, motus esset. Misa, SM, Misa, SS, Misa, Esset. And again, you're going to want to make sure you respect the number, case, and gender of it, right? So it would be Misai, Essemus, Misai, SS, or Essetis, Misai, Essent. Yakta, SM, Yakta, Esset, SS, Yakta, Esset turns to Yaktai. Auditum, SM turns to Audita, Essemus. Auditum ss, auditum esset turns to audita essetis, audita essent. So that's essentially how it works, and you can kind of see the patterns going all the way across. For the deponents, it's actually the exact same thing. They just translate active, but you use the exact same formula. Use that, except that it's a 3rd principal part because deponents don't have 4 principal parts. So conata sm would turn again to conatai essemus, right? Sm, ss, esset. So it's the same thing all the way down. This is why we've had to memorize all 4 parts of our verbs for every verb, because this is, if I recall correctly, you are getting the last 2 times 6, so 12 forms. Times 2 more because they're passives as well, so 24 forms. And now you're done. You can do all the forms of the verb until we get to level 3 and I teach you gerunds and gerundives. So this is it. This is how it ends, okay? So expertus sm would go to experti essemus, right? And on and on and on. So make sure that you respect the gender of your participle and make sure you respect the number of your participle when you're dealing with it. So that is it. You now have 4 lessons, technically 5, on how to conjugate in the subjunctive. You translate them the exact same way no matter what, okay? They're still active, then you translate them active. They're still passive, then you translate them passive. Still present or imperfect or perfect or pluperfect, you still translate them as that tense. Nothing else changes, okay? The only time you're going to use the subjunctive right now is in cum clauses and in direct questions. And then in about a chapter, I'm going to teach you a bunch of different uses. Okay, but don't worry, I'll give you the formula, it'll all be fine. But for right now, stick to these endings. If you've done all your verbs, then fill them in, because it really is a good, quick way to flash learn. Okay. Next thing that you'll see from me probably will be several translations in a row, and you can check against those. If you want practice on how to do subjunctives in general, if you turn to chapter 50 and you take a look at exercise 50B and 50B, that will help dial it in for you. Don't do any other exercises in chapter 50 right now because there's too much grammar that's going on with that. But in terms of just nailing in the forms, exercise 50B is probably the best place to go. If you need to review, though, the other two sets of forms, then take a look at chapter 42. Exercise 42D is a decent one to work with. And exercise 43C is a really good one to work with. Okay, so 42D, 43C, and 50B. Only those for this stuff. Everything else, just make sure you're caught up. I'm going to catch you up on the translations probably with the next several readings. And then we will move forward and we will learn all the other subordinate clauses through the end of the book. And there'll be a lesson for each one of those, and then I'll give you exercises in each. And I do expect you to be able to translate. Okay? All right. Well, I'm going to hit the button now.